All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, cover the Bears for SM. Joined my good friend, co-host and Chicago Bears content creator and writer for sportsmockery.com as well, Ficky. And like always, we're going to go ahead and do our preview show. We've kind of gotten accustomed to doing Saturday mornings, which a lot of you guys like, and we do as well. And so excited for everyone to hop in, join us before the game tomorrow. And we're going to go through our normal predictions, go over some really fun stuff. And just the Bears need this one. I think it's do or die. I think I put on the thumbnail, and it's probably a little extreme, but I do feel like going 2-2,
Huge.
heading into the bye week would be it would be huge, especially when you look at this team. Theoretically, they should have beat Minnesota, so you could be 3-1 if you win tomorrow. So 2-2 just sounds so good. But Fick, man, before we hop in, like always, how are we feeling on this Saturday?
Oh man, this one's a little bit rough. I was at a birthday party yesterday, a surprise birthday party for a friend, and so I'm on like 5 hours of sleep. But that's nothing compared to what my man Dave's going through right now. This man he's had a rough week. So just let you know, we are here on Saturday for y'all, for the fans, because we love y'all. But we are pushing ourselves through on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, I went to the doctor on Wednesday, and they're like, test me like for flu, strep, COVID, and ended up coming back COVID. I've had COVID before. However, whenever I've had COVID, I didn't even know I had it, so I didn't really have the symptoms, and I felt fine. This is the first time where it's like kicking my butt. But enough about me. We're still going to push along, cover the Bears like we always do. And I'm jacked for this game tomorrow. 3:25 time slot. I didn't know we had back-to-back Fox.
Neither did I.
And it's not the game of the week.
It's actually CBS on this one. So it's the CBS 4:00 slot.
Okay.
Or 3:00 for you, I think. I'm 4, yeah.
Yeah, so, 3:25. Is it 3:25 or 3?
Yeah, 3:25, I think. Let me see here. I think it is.
Okay.
It is, yeah. It's CBS at 3:25.
Awesome. But let's go ahead. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We're going to go ahead and answer some of those at the end of the show. And trust me, I do have a ton of Liquid IV. I got body armor here. We got some Gatorade.
He's locked and loaded.
Gatorade Light. I have my coffee. I'm taking a lot of medicine, man. Doing whatever I can to keep it moving. So
I love this comment from Yuko. Said the homie's playing through injury. Thank you. Yeah, we are definitely. We were listed as questionable this morning, but we're suited up and ready to go for y'all. So
yes, absolutely. All right, Fake. Let's get through. Let's start with the
injury report.
The injury report, which is not favorable for Chicago.
Never is. Looking better though, but I'll let you speak on this. It's much better than what we saw last week.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it, honestly. But TJ Edwards is out. He did not practice all week with a hamstring injury. Grady Jarrett out. This is a big one in my opinion. We'll get to the full overview, so I'll go through it first. But Darnell Wright. Starting right tackle, elbow. He did not practice. He is out. This is where it gets a little interesting. Kyler Gordon, hamstring. I think did he say somewhere that he was going to play? He's listed as questionable. I saw it on Twitter.
He posted like photos to make it seem like he's coming back. I think that's what did it.
Yep. So Colston Loveland, hip, that he got injured last week on that throw across the middle. His hip, he did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, limited Friday. He's questionable. DeAndre Swift is limited most of the week, and then he is questionable. DeMarco Jackson, linebacker, is full go, along with Jalen Jones and Cole Kmet. So interesting injury report. Vic, main takeaways on this one.
TJ sucks, but we're kind of used to that now. Great to have Gordon back, right? That's going to be huge. I think the biggest one, which is the main concern, obviously not great when you're going against Max Crosby, but is having Darnell Wright out, right? He injured that elbow mid-game last week, and he ended up going out, but then came back in. So hats off to him for, still fighting and trying to get us that win, which we did. But it'll be interesting to see how long that injury is. Now, he wasn't put on IR, so that's a positive. Is this going to be a 2-game stint, especially with the bye coming up next week? It kind of seems like that based off the wording Ben Johnson said, where it's like, typically early buys, you're not that great, you're not that happy about. But based off kind of how we are injury-wise, he kind of alluded that maybe everyone will kind of be healthy coming back, TJ Edwards and Darnell Wright. So we'll see. it's not great to lose your lineman, but this is a great opportunity, as Ben Johnson said, to see someone like Theo Benedict or Ozzy Trapillo. We'll see who starts. I don't think he's actually mentioned who will be slotting in that right tackle, but next man up. What about you? Anything on there where you're like, ugh?
Yeah, well, and let's start with Ozzy Trapillo. If he's not active, and if he does not, I guess he doesn't have to start. But man, it says a lot if Theo starts over Ozzy, in my opinion. That's your second rounder. Like, at least be a depth piece, backup this year would be the floor. And so if he isn't out there playing, that's gonna be really disappointing and a huge red flag. Another red flag for Ryan Poles. Just my opinion on that. Overall, I think the Bears are just fighting it like every other team. So it's just really next man up. I think TJ Edwards, you miss him, but Edmonds is playing at a high level. At least last week, he was everywhere.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Hoping that he can kind of replicate that against Geno Smith. But overall, just got to fight through it. I guess it's a good thing the Bears have that early bye, given the injuries so early on. I think Kyler Gordon, if he's 100% and he's able to go, that's going to be a huge boost for Dennis Allen and kind of maybe allow for some exotic pressures from Dennis Allen that he can generate with maybe Grady Jarrett being out. So excited to see Shamar Turner as well, the rookie, see what he can do with maybe a little bit bigger of a role. So overall, I'm not like, if we were playing Baltimore, I'd be really, really nervous. But you're playing Las Vegas, you're on the road, sure, but I think you still have enough ammo here to win this game. So,
yeah, no, I feel that. And there's a good question here from Ozzy Trapillo Muse on Twitter. Said, you guys expecting to see Ozzy or Theo? Who, if you're a betting man, who do you think starts?
Well, Theo came in last week and Ozzy wasn't active. So I think you would all signs point towards Theo. And I don't like that either. But I think that's just kind of what's going to happen at this point. So,
you know what's also interesting, though? Because I feel like all the offseason was focusing him on left tackle, right? And even though they are the same position, they are very different. So you took a guy who played mostly right tackle for 4 years, and then your main focus was like, hey, you have to learn this side, right? I wonder, once he lost the job, and basically they trialed something and it didn't work. They're like, hey, let's see him at left tackle, see how this plays out. And they're like, you know what? I think you're actually better at right tackle, which is fair. That makes sense. I wonder if that delayed the process of him. Like, if he would have started at right tackle, would he automatically been slotted in as like, oh yeah, you're obviously the backup behind Darnold, right? And I say that to kind of, if he's not active, I think it's because of that delay. And I'm almost not upset. Like, on paper, it doesn't look good because I'm thinking more, okay, you kind of took a risk on him to see how he'd play over here, thinking future state. It didn't work out just yet. How is that going to play into next season? Like, are you going to double down on Ozzy and say, hey, we really want you now to be the left tackle behind Braxton? And if that's the case, then I go, okay, what you did this season, sure, it may have been like a throwaway. He didn't start or he wasn't the backup, but you're prepping him to be your future starting left tackle. We don't know those conversations, but it's kind of interesting to see what are they envisioning for Ozzy, because I don't think they're looking at the guy and being like, you're not talented, that's why you're not active. I think it's like, we're trying to figure out where this chess piece goes, because we spent so much time in the offseason trying to see if you could beat out Braxton Jones. So again, not saying it's the perfect situation. It is still his first year, but it'll be interesting to see like how this plays out and where he ends up slotting.
Yeah. Let's bring up that injury report one more time for Chicago.
Yeah.
Another big one that I think is going to be really, really interesting to watch up to today. I'm sure we'll get some type of feel for who's going to be playing, especially with the questionable status with Gordon, Loveland, and Swift. But Swift being out, I think, would actually be a huge blow to this offense.
Yes.
Saw it last week just with the screen that he took about 40-something yards. He has that capability, and I like Kyle Monungai. I just don't think he's ready for RB1 in both receiving, and then Swift also pass block last week was really, really good. So
it was.
I hope he's good to go because that would be tough, really tough pill to swallow for Chicago.
Well, for sure. We've only got like 3. There's only been 3 running backs so far that have had a touch. And one of them is your starting wide receiver, DJ Moore. It's been DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monungai, and
Yeah.
DJ
And
Moore. So you
they
lose.
haven't elevated anybody either, like
Mm-mm.
or brought anybody in, like anybody from the practice squad, like an Ian Wheeler or something like that. I think he's on our
Roshan hasn't even gotten a
PS.
touch, if I remember correctly. I don't think he's touched the ball. So
No, what's funny is in the red zone, or inside the 5-yard line, they're really just throwing that ball.
just crazy.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think the last red zone run was Kyle Monungai's 8-yard loss. He was breaking all those tackles and went backwards. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, the running back room is obviously not the strength right now. It is funny though, because when Swift caught that big screen, I was like, oh, Dave, like I just thought of you, because I'm like, that's what Dave is expecting from DeAndre Swift. But if you rewatch the screen and you look at his vision, and bless you, if he would have cut it to the right at the end of that screen, that's probably a touchdown. The man cuts into the linebacker. So then I'm thinking like, oh, this is the explosiveness we know of DeAndre Swift. But actually, if you see, he kind of had a vision issue again at the very end of the play. So, but yeah, you take away DeAndre Swift, there's absolutely, we barely have a run game now. We'd have nothing if you take him away. So seeing him on that injury list twice in a row is a little bit concerning, but he's played through both of them. So shout out to him.
Yeah. No, I watched all 22 really on all offensive snaps, and I saw that it's a little muggy because I don't know if he scores a touchdown, but it is, yeah. He probably gets at least a few more yards.
Yeah,
it's just easier being on the chair watching it.
Yeah, Monday morning quarterback's so easy, as I see.
Yeah.
Talk beyond him.
But those are the big plays that he brings to the table. But I did think he was going to score when I saw that.
That was, look, that was a great play for him overall. Great call by Ben Johnson. So you got to give him credit there. But I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, oh, the vision issue still peaked his head on his best play of the season. So
yeah.
All right, let's get to this Las Vegas injury report here. Let's see what we got.
I'll let you take this one, Fick.
Yeah, so we got Brock Bowers. He was a full participant. He was on I think he didn't play last game, or it was the week before that where he got injured. So it doesn't matter because he's a full participant. Looks like he's ready to go, which will be problemsome because obviously Brock Bowers is already a top 4 tight end in the NFL. You got Jeremy Chin, who's a pretty good safety. He had a pec. He was limited on Wednesday, but he was basically a full participant the rest of the way. And both of the guys will be locked up and ready to go. Then you have Michael Mayer, their big blocking tight end number 2. He had a concussion, so he is out. He was did not participate all week. And then you got Ducamarian Richardson, who's a cornerback who had a hamstring issue. He was limited for Wednesday, Thursday, full participant Friday. So that means he's questionable. So I'm assuming he will be active for Sunday. So really just Michael Mayer, their backup tight end. That's a small injury list. Like you see our injury list. Our injury list has been like 10 people every game. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, Dave. But it's been a chapter of fucking players on our list, and all of our opponents, it's like 1 or 2 people.
We've had AR. We have AR, accelerated reader. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
We've had IR, like Jalen Johnson. Who else has went on AR?
We had, just JJ. But and
JJ's not on IR, actually, is he?
No, he got put on IR, but not season-ending IR. So we didn't even talk about that. But now he's going to have that abdominal surgery, so he has a chance to come back.
So when the Bears are 8-2 and feeling real good,
yeah, that's it. But look, that's huge. It's better than being out for the whole season. Maybe, because even if you're not looking at this, Booker was on IR too. Good point. Because even if you're not thinking about, what if the team is going to be competitive at the back end of the year, it's good that Jalen Johnson won't miss a full year of football. Like, that's good. So
we need him to stay healthy.
Absolutely.
I want what the Raiders have as far as their injury report. That's what I want for Chicago. And hopefully that's the case down the end of the year. That's when you want to be firing all cylinders anyhow, but you don't want to dig yourself in a hole. That's why like Kansas City versus Baltimore this week is such a big game. The loser goes to 1-3 playoff odds or dip to, I think, 12% single digits.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah. It's single digits for Chicago. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure.
You go to 1-3.
It's over.
Yeah, it would not be good. But overall, I still think like we saw last year when the Bears were banged up defensively, they still players stepped up, and I'm expecting the same exact thing. They have to. So, and I'm confident for the first time in our offense to be able to pick up some slack here. Similar to what they did last year, like that. We're going to get to our keys to the game, so I'm not going to give away one of those. So we'll just move forward. I don't want to segue it without giving it away. It's a good one though, I think.
Well, perfect. Well, let's get to the team overview here, and this is surprising. Sir. This is when I was making this, I was like, oh my gosh, wow! I never thought I'd see the day. We have more footballs. we have more footballs than the team we're actually playing against. And just for reference, if you've been a fan of the #1 show for the fans by the fans, Bears Film Room podcast, it has been almost a year since we have gone against an opponent where we had more footballs than them. I want to say the last one was probably the Carolina game last year, which is over a year ago.
I tell you to do this every so often. How do you determine these footballs?
Yes.
Tell your philosophy.
Are aggregated. Yeah, these are aggregated data. So I'm looking at basically their rankings based off of your categories, right? So where you rank out of the 32 teams determines how many footballs you have. The more footballs you have, the better you are in that category, the higher you're up on the list, right? Like a top 5. If you're a top 5 passing team, you'd have 5 footballs, right? If you're a bottom 5 passing team, you have 0 footballs. So you can see here's a perfect segue. Our pass rush has 0 footballs because I think our aggregated data, if you look at most of the advanced stats, has us around 30 to 31st, which isn't great, okay? While on the other hand, you look at the Raiders, they kind of suck at running the ball, which is crazy because they have Ashton Genty, but they are one of the worst running teams in the NFL. And a lot of that is also due to their offensive line not being great. Like Ashton Genty's been hit behind the line so many times. So that's kind of how that works, just an aggregation of where we land on that.
His yards for contact, his yards after contact, he has like 46 rushing yards, and he has 145 yards after contact. Is that right?
It's really high. There was someone did like a percentage of I saw someone doing like an analytical chart of basically what percentage of your yards come from after contact, and he leads the league at 102%, which means that literally every single one of his yards has been after contact, which is not good for a running back. Like, it's good that he's breaking tackles, right? But that if you're getting if 100% of your yards means that you're getting tackled like immediately, not a good look. So that's a perfect segue here, right? That was one of the biggest things I took away from this Raiders when I was looking at their kind of where they landed. Their run game is awful, which I kind of knew about. Geno in the past game's been pretty good, especially Trey. I think Trey Tucker, the wide receiver that came out of nowhere, he's been going crazy. He's like second in the league in yards per route. He's at like 16 yards, which is a lot. That's a shit ton in the NFL. Like, this man has been burning people, and he went crazy 2 weeks ago as well. So that's kind of their offense in summation, is like, hey, we can't run the ball, but we still have Geno, and Geno can sling it. I think he went for 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions last game, right? On the defensive side, pass rush has been decent. They got Max Crosby, obviously, so that helps. Their run defense is about middle of the pack, and then their pass defense has been awful. It's not that great. It's bottom 5.
We like that.
Yes, we do. On our side, look at that offense, man. And that makes sense because we went crazy last week. But, and again, it's only 3 games of data. But we have 3 passing. We are top 10. I think we were like 8 in passing. Our blocking's middle of the tier, and it's kind of been that throughout the season, which is fine. And our run game has been awful. We've talked about this. It's easily bottom 10, right? It needs to get better. A lot of that, I think, is on Swift. I will say, though, last game, I think we did a worse job of run blocking because there was a lot of times where Swift got tackled right away, and I'm not going to blame that on the running back. That's the same argument that we had for Genty. And then on the defensive side of the ball, as we know, pass rush non-existent. Run game was a little bit better. We're about middle, back half on that one. And then our pass defense is also kind of back half. But we played much better last week, which is good to see. And we get Kyler Gordon back, so hopefully that secondary and pass defense will improve. But overall, 8 footballs to 5, I'll take it.
I love the breakdown. I love what you do with those because it's real-time data. It really shows how teams are performing. So especially just throughout the year. I want to give a special shout out to Kenny Adams. Just subscribed, said his first time watching. Guys,
thank you.
We're gonna hit 10,000 subs here probably the next couple weeks. So thank you so much. If you can, tell a friend. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. But you guys have been amazing. And then Trey Tucker, talk about Trey Tucker. I think all of Geno's. When I was doing kind of my review of the Raiders, all 4 touchdown passes from Geno Smith have gone to Trey Tucker.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, that's something we got to limit, man.
Yeah, I want to see his stats. I was looking at it earlier, but he's like up there with yards and leading the league. Yeah, he's 13th. He is 18th in the league, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns. So he leads the league in touchdowns with an average depth. Yep, average depth of 16 yards per catch, which is crazy.
And only 13 receptions, which is tied for 44th or 45th in the NFL.
So that's telling you this man's explosive.
He's 5'8", 182.
That's crazy. Yeah, so that'll be someone to watch for sure in the secondary. Obviously, Dennis Allen has that guy circled, but that's their biggest weapon. Obviously, Brock Bowers is still, you got to worry about him too. But Trey Tucker's been having a fantastic start to the season for the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, but he did have most of his touchdowns last week against the Washington Commanders. He had 3 in that game. So, and the Raiders lost 41-24.
Oh, they got spanked.
And that
got spanked.
That wasn't even Jaden Daniels.
No, it was Marcus Mariota. So not great.
Yeah.
Definitely a winnable game, but we will definitely get to that.
I want to get real quick to this comment here.
Okay.
Brendan Towery. I think we're one of the more positive people when it comes to the Bears. That's what we try to be. So we're always going to admit when we're wrong, but we at the same time, we are going to cover things that are just happening. When the Bears were 0-2, that's all it was negativity. We try to bring some type of positivity to the shows, but we appreciate y'all keeping us accountable. We do our best. We're fans. Of course, we cover the team, but we're going to do our best to kind of just be consistent as possible. And Caleb's playing at a really, really high level. And I'll admit it, I was a little worried, especially just after week 1. But since then, he has progressed like in a nuclear fashion. And that's a credit to him, but also Ben Johnson. Things are really starting to kind of get going for him. And that's all. Did I just lose myself?
Yeah, just for a second there. Just for a second. Right. It was like real short, but I think they got the
gist.
But I want to say also, I think it's fair that you can have a change of opinion based off more data that comes in. So we had one data point, said, hey, we think this. More data comes in. We're like, oh, you know what? We think this. And guess what? This week's game, we'll provide more data, which then we'll start to shift our perspective on our quarterback. If our quarterback goes out there and throws 3 interceptions, I think it's fair for someone to be like, hey, that's not great, But if he goes out there and balls, it's also fair to be like, hey, this guy looks great. So there's nuance and everything. This context, it's a long season, but we appreciate it. We have no problem saying when we're wrong on things. But yeah,
I think that's also it comes with the territory of just giving live reactions or instant reactions, because we go live right after every single game. So what we say is not always going to be perfect. It's going to be more emotional sometimes. We try our best to kind of to walk that line, but keep us in check. We appreciate it. Like and he'll say it. So we'll get better, and we always continue to. But we appreciate the support, like I said. So I know I'm going in and out of here. So
no, you're good. It's like it's a quick second. I think they
all right.
So
cool.
Point. Oh, look at this. So gave you a like just for responding. Thank you, Brennan. And yes, Dave, absolutely. Please feel better. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate all the support, comments, all that stuff. We listen, and again, we're fans just like y'all. We're human. We like to talk about this team. We're definitely wrong at times. We're definitely right at times. So that's what makes it fun. Speaking of right and wrong, let's look at these Vegas odds, and let's see which one of these we could think we'd be right on. Let's see what Vegas has set out for us on this one. Okay, so we can see the spread here. Chicago plus 1.5. So they definitely still view us as the underdogs. I don't know if I agree with that one, but over under at 47.5. And the money line for Chicago to win is -100, which is pretty decent odds. Dave, if you were a betting man, any of those that draw your interest?
Money line, Chicago.
Yep. Honestly,
money line, Chicago. I love that one.
I actually might bet that one. That's a good one.
I'm feeling good about Chicago. We'll get to our predictions later in the show. But shout out to our Patreon member, Gage Herrera. Got a super chat here. You want to get to it?
I didn't say it. Yeah, absolutely. I will do that. Gage here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Said Dave and Ficky. The reason I love this pod is the realness. Your fans, like the rest of us, bear down. Appreciate it, Gage. Thank you. And the reason why we do this pod is because of awesome people like you, Patreon members, whether you're just a subscriber or you haven't subscribed, but you just watch. Every single one of you are important. That's why we do this show. So much that Dave got so emotional he had to dip out. So, but no, really do appreciate it. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Gage. That's awesome. I saw that you were hungover this morning. So also get some rest. Appreciate you listening to us this morning after a long night out. I'm gonna read some comments here while Dave comes back. So, Mr. James. So, Genty, welcome to the NFL game, Mr. James. This is part of my keys of the game, and I'm gonna talk about that. So, that is a good call out here. And then we got Damon Atley as well. Said you guys are great. Nobody's perfect. Appreciate it, Damon. Yeah, we'll never claim the BFR podcast. We'll never claim that we're the perfect show. We try to be best, but. And then Brennan Tower here as Andrew Billings, the Genty stopper. So I was just reading some stuff while you're out. But yeah, appreciate it. I do want to talk. We'll talk about this one, though, Mr. James, about Genty and his impact, because there's some things that might be favorable for one team or the other. And it's a good talking point. But again, thank you guys for all of that. And then speaking to the Vegas odds as well, that money line, like I feel confident the Bears can win this one in -100. Not that we're a betting show and bet responsibly. It's your money, right? So don't listen to us. But if I were to take one, that's probably what I would rock with.
I think I'm back.
Yes, definitely. You're good.
Cool.
All right, let's get to do you have anything else on that? You want to get to key matchups here?
No, before we get to our key matchups, let's take our first break here.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. First off, thank you for watching the BFR podcast, the #1 show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag #NewFaceGang in the chat. That's hashtag #NewFaceGang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you've watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the #1 show for the fans by the fans, the BFR podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Love it. Love it. Before we go on, we do have KJ here on Twitter said loves the hat. Needs you to drop the link. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. About a few months ago, I think before the season. So let me see if I can find it. Message me on Twitter, KJ, if you can, and I'll shoot that link over. I'm sure I have it. I'll just go to my cart or my last purchases. So
cool. It is a nice hat.
Yeah,
though.
This is one of my favorite one.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like the older type of vintage hats. Those always look good.
Yeah, there's a Cubs one I want as well.
Okay, let's get to the key matchups here, though. Let's see what we got cooked up. So for me, a big one here, and Mr. James, you just talked about it, is Ashton Genty. Okay, we've talked about how he's kind of had a piss poor start. Okay, I don't think that's much on him. I think that's more about the roster that's around him. But he is going against the defense that is not great against the run. Actually, they're bottom 5 in almost every category against the run. Kind of the same thing we saw last year. Also want to mention, Grady Jarrett is out this week. That is a big one. Right now, Andrew Billings, you still have him, Javon Dexter. But obviously, TJ Edwards is out, who's great against the run. How are they going to fare up? Is this, as Mr. James said, a welcome to the NFL Genty game, or is this a Genty breakout game, right? I don't know, but I do feel like this is going to be one of the biggest key matchups, because if you force Geno to just have to throw, then we'll probably have a chance to win this game. But if the run game gets going with Genty, we've seen how that's gone against us, like Lions, right? That's how they got going. They ran it all down our throats. We could be in for a long one. So those are my key matchups for the game.
Yeah.
There they go.
Yeah. If you want to bring it back up for me, Fick.
Yeah.
This was one I was really focusing on. Just because Genty, similar to like Adrian Peterson, remember, he always had such amazing games. And I'm not saying Genty is that. He still has a long way to go, a lot to prove. But I do feel like the Bears sometimes just get unlucky when it comes to running backs just having insane performances. And
Yeah.
so I really, really, really hope that's not the case here. At the same time, if you can limit one of the two, whether Gino dotting us up or Genti going over 100, you just can't have both, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Here. So it'll be interesting to see. Contain him. I think they can. I really do, especially if Gordon's back. I like that matchup a little bit too. He's a good tackler. This is where you want Edmonds, or I'm sorry, not Edmonds, Edwards. Just his speed sideline to sideline to kind of help contain Genti if possible.
Noah's done pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's no Edwards, but he's done pretty decent in the run.
No, you're
game.
right.
So I feel a little bit better about that. And honestly, if Tremaine is playing like how he did last week, right, then maybe this won't happen. But I do feel you, Dave, because a lot of times when these teams that haven't ran the ball well and they go against the Bears, they end up like doing shit they haven't done all season. So I'm a little concerned. So I feel you on that.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. Let's get to mine here. Because sometimes I honestly forget what I put. Oh yeah. This makes sense. This is how I was feeling when I was writing yesterday. Kind of my preview for the game. So some of the key matchup here, Bears O-line just missing Darnell Wright. And then of course Raiders D-line. Really just Max Crosby. Because I don't think that unit's really elite. The only guy is, unfortunately, they have a top 5 probably pass rusher in the NFL right now, and he has an unlimited motor. Max Crosby, if you can just limit his game-changing moments to 0, I know that's a high bar, but just I'm talking about a strip sack or something like where the Bears are driving and it just completely changes the game. This is where if Theo's starting Benedict, I'm not sure. Max Crosby kind of lines up in different spots too, similar to Micah Parsons. He's versatile, and I'm sure he's going to have his opportunities. It's just can you limit him to just a big sack, right? Not a sack and strip or a sack turnover or a deflected pass that's intercepted. Just limit to them just being, because he's probably going to get at least one good look at Caleb, if not maybe 2 or 3. So
yeah, you
that's
don't want
one.
That.
Go ahead.
Let's say you don't want that game like changing play, right? Like
exactly, and
he's going to make plays, but you don't want it to like that was the dagger in the back,
Yeah, and I like I said, you can. I believe in this coaching staff where they can game plan. It's why if Loveland's here, he's actually pretty good at that. Like you could play 12 personnel. Even if Loveland is out, I forgot the backup last week, but he did a really, really good job filling in when Loveland went out.
Was that Smythe?
Midway through? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he number? What number was he?
Is he 81? Is that right?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think it's right. Let me look at. I'll look at it in a second. But if they can just limit his impact, is what I'm trying to say. We'll be in a really good spot. So,
also, I'm very nervous. This is kind of random, but not random. But 12 personnel is taking over the NFL. Like we talked about, I've written articles on this about 12 personnel, especially with Detroit. Like that was Ben Johnson's bread and butter. He loves it. And if you don't know what 12 personnel is, 12 personnel is typically formations with 2 tight ends, right? So how the personnel works is the first number is how many running backs, right? The second number is how many tight ends. So 12 is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, right? Compared to 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, and yada, yada, yada. It's like you're seeing a lot of teams use it. And I'm noticing it more and more. And I was watching the Thursday night football game, Dave, which was a great game. But Seattle's first touchdown, every single play, their first drive was 12 personnel. They had 2 tight ends for 12 straight plays on the field, which is crazy to see. And I saw Dan Orlovsky of ESPN talking about this, and he was telling about like why it's become a big thing, right? And this is important because the Bears are running a lot of it, and they have 2 tight ends. Is that the game is shifting now? Because back in the day, right, you think of like old school Bears football, big linebackers, right, big running backs. The game is starting to go back to, I think JJ Watt tweeted about it yesterday as well. We're starting to see, because history repeats itself, it's kind of going back to that. And now what's happening is these tight ends are getting bigger and faster and more athletic, and they're becoming mismatches. And what's happening is when you have those big linebackers on the field, they can't pass cover against these tight ends like a Colston Loveland, right? But then what happens is when they come in dime and nickel situations and sets where there's a DB, there's one more DB than there is a linebacker, they get destroyed in the run game. And we saw Detroit do that all last week, and that's why they mauled whoever they played. They mollywopped them. But it's just interesting, like, as you guys as fans, as you're watching the game, especially watching the Bears game tomorrow, keep an eye of how many times that Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet are on the field. Now, they're going to be in different spots. Sometimes Cole Kmet has motioned back into a fullback position. Sometimes Colston Loveland started like inline tight end and flexed out to like a slot wide receiver. But just keep an eye on it, because once you see it, you're going to see it for all the games that you're watching. You're like, oh my gosh, there's literally Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland on the field over and over again. And you're starting to see a trend of it in the NFL like crazy. I think right now there's 1 out of every 4 plays, Dave, is in 12 personnel. And teams like the Steelers and the Bengals are Browns. Steelers and Browns run it at almost a 50% clip. And the average of last year was like, I think like 18%. And this year it's already 25. So we're seeing like a significant jump. Anyways, I know I just kind of want to ramble there, but just pay attention to it, because it's very important.
I think you've written an article or two on sportsmockery.com, which you guys should check out. That really goes a little bit more in depth as far as just you did, right?
A while back.
I feel like you have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But check out all our work on sportsmarker.com. This is a good way to segue to that, because there's a lot of good stuff on there you can kind of learn from. Of course, the best Bears, Cubs, Bulls, Blackhawks news you can get. But I think I saw your tweet about this, Fick. It's like a chess match. And this is why you love the game of football, because it's always changing. Kind of, reflecting back to old habits, old ways of doing, things that have worked in the past. It's just, this is why you got to love football, because I mean, remember the running back position was like, everyone's like, it's dying, right? And now it's kind of becoming vital again, where you need a playmaker, and it's that evolution from year to year, decade to decade. That's why when we compare like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning to guys now, I just don't think it's really, it's not fair or even fun to do, because the game now is so different than when Peyton was playing, when Eli or even Tom Brady, who was able to do it in both eras. But all I'm saying is when you compare those two, from a different generation or different decade, it's just really hard to do, because the league just changes so much. And then now with the quarterback position being protected, the receivers, it's a lot easier for the offense. It's hard to compare decades to get to decades, but I love to see kind of history, going back in history, pulling some things, maybe tweaking a little bit. And that's why I'm excited to have Ben Johnson too, because
he's kind of leading the charge. He's I mean, look, like you said, he runs
double
tight end all the time.
He's going to start noticing that too. He's going to start changing it up.
For sure. Ben Johnson this year, Ben Johnson year 5 is going to be completely different, but it's just interesting, as you watch the change, because the NFL is a repeat league, copycat league. And it's just funny that now it's coming back to that, right? 2 tight ends taking in the top 15 last draft. Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren. 2 running backs drafted in the first round. That normally doesn't happen. Top 6, Ashton Genty and
look what the Lions did.
Jameer Gibbs, pick 12.
And Monty.
13.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Kind of mocked him at the time. A lot of people did. And
for sure.
It's one of the best. It's the best duo in football. So yeah, that's why I love this game. It's so fun to watch. And it's played at such a high level, these coaches. And that's why having Ben Johnson and hopefully Caleb Williams and him are paired at the hip for the next decade, because they're going to be able to go through so much and hopefully lead the charge in regards to changing the way the offensive is played, and that the rest of the league is playing, either copycat or catch up, because I think Ben Johnson is that good of a play caller. And I think Caleb has that ability to be generational. One of my favorite quotes this week, Vic, I know we're getting a little off track, but I think it's relevant here. It was in regards to, what was it? So Ben Johnson on Caleb Williams via Larry Mayer. He says, what impresses me most is how quickly Caleb locks in what we installed the day before. We don't have to repeat things. He's a quick study, and that lets us do more each week. And for me, it's like, how refreshing. That's what we were missing with Mitch Trubisky, where we wanted to take that leap from 101 to 202, I think is what Matt Nagy called it, right? And we couldn't do it because he just couldn't process, right? And with Justin, as electric he was nowhere near the passer or his ability to read the defenses. And then I'm not sure Matt Eberflus ever said it, but I've not heard basically a coach talk about a Bears quarterback able to retain information from the day before and then go out there and not make the same mistake, right?
Yeah.
And then also allows Ben Johnson to add more to the game plan. And he said week 1 is already different than what we're going into week 4 because he's able to trust Caleb to be able to take on more. And that's something that is probably the most encouraging thing I've heard so far this season, because that's why this offense can get scary. And Caleb's going to make mistakes. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to make bad reads, but he's going through his reads. He's making really, really good decisions so far. And I'm excited to see what these two can do, and see what this offense can become. And so
we talked
it
about
takes
it, right?
patience. Go ahead.
Well, I was saying, no, just doubling on what you said. We talked about it. Like looking at what this offense will be week 10, week 11, week 12. Like that's what's important to see, like the progress that it's made from installing, right? Syllabus day to now you're in your second semester of school, right? That's important. And then you'll see it build on the year after. It's the same thing that happened in Detroit with Ben Johnson or any great coach, right? It takes time to build up. You're testing your students, figuring out what they know, what they can learn, and then you start building on. Once they seem like they've understood that curriculum, you add something else. So it's super excited to see where this offense goes for sure. And same with the defense. It's going to be the same thing on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So,
Vic, we're going to wrap up this show in the next probably 20 minutes. We have our predictions, a lot of things we're going to get to that you guys are normal, that if you've watched the show before, is with our preview show. Before we do, let's take one more break and we'll jump into the final segments.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Yeah, for real. Shout out to all of y'all. We appreciate it. And we have some new members. We'll give you a shout out at the end of the show as well. So we really appreciate that y'all are supporting us and helping this show grow. So much love to y'all.
Let's take a look at our bold takes records right now.
Well, we got to go keys the game real quick, and then we got bold takes.
So,
almost there.
Thank you.
So we've kind of talked about these anyway, so it may not be a surprise, but don't let Genti get hot on my end, right? We talked about that. Get pressure on Geno. I know we say this every week between Dave and I, but it's important because our team is bottom. Actually, I think we're dead last in pressure rate. So, kind of need to improve on that. And then let Caleb cook. We've talked about this secondary is not that great. They run the most zone out of any NFL defense. So that'll be interesting to see how Caleb does against that. He's done pretty well against man, but we'll see. This is like his first test of like a pure zone team. Eberflus ran a lot of zone. Dallas also defense sucks. So I don't know if that's a good testament, but we'll see how he compares against that. And then for you, Dave.
Yeah. So my keys to the game, first Las Vegas. First of all, I love yours, Fick. Getting pressure is always going to be important. If we do say it every week, it cracks me up. It seems like a cop-out, but guys, it's so important. We know. We saw what Jared Goff did. He picked us apart. So don't want that to happen with Geno. But my first key to the game, establish the run, preferably early, and then keep at it. I love what Ben Johnson last week, that 19-play drive. He ran the ball, 10 times in a row, and he didn't even realize it. Now, what he did, it wasn't just, I formation or, single back, handed off to Swift. No, it was basically end arounds. It was unique, and his ability to call plays at the right time is what's so fun to watch, and what makes him so elite in this league. And secondly, play with the lead early. You're on the road. I think if you could jump out here 14-0, 14-7, just similar to what they did last week and always maintain. I know they ended up tying at 14-14, but Chicago still didn't blink. And playing with a lead allows your defense to play a little bit more aggressive, less pressure on them, and that means you're scoring points. So keeps the defense a little fresh. We're not used to playing with the lead, but I think this team, if they can do it this week in Las Vegas, it just gives them that better of a chance to win. So, and lastly, win the turnover battle. This is so important, especially on the road. If they can just do that, those three things, I think they're going to be in a great. They're going to be in the driver's seat, and that's what I want to see them this week. I think they're the better team. Obviously, they're missing a lot of talent, but we'll see. You should have the better quarterback. If you have the better quarterback, most of the time you should be favored and you should win these games. So I know it's on the road; anything can happen. Bears have the ability to go 2-2. It's a great opportunity heading into the bye to get healthy, good vibes going, 2-game win streak. So those are my keys.
I love this week. Great. Good keys, good keys. Also, shout to dude working injured. Nice job, fellas. We do appreciate that. But yes, I agree with those keys. It's going to be huge. If we can get a lead early, which actually we've done in most games. I think we have 28 first quarter points, which is first in the league or top 5 in the league, something like that. We've been pretty good. Quite night and day of last year. You want to talk about Ben Johnson impact? That is like the first stat that stands out where I'm like, oh, we can score in the first quarter and we can never do that. And that was actually your first bold take. Perfect transition was the Bears getting a first quarter or scoring on the first drive, a touchdown. And they sure did do that. So let's get to our bold takes here. And of course, Dave's still in the lead here with a 2-1 lead. I finally got a dub last week on my bold take. And
am I 2 in a row?
No, you went 2-0 and then lost last week. I was the only one that got it right last week.
All right. So what did I say? Did I say Caleb over 3 something?
You said 350 yards, and he didn't get that. He got 298.
That's crazy. All right. Yeah.
Even though he had 4 touchdowns, right? Crazy. I had 3+ touchdowns, so I wanted a lot one. So yeah, when you win, I lose. When I win, you lose. But you're still in the lead here at 2-1. Poor Jack. Doesn't know what a win looks like. So let's go to my bold take here. I'm doing it again. I think he can do it. Back-to-back 3+ touchdowns for Caleb. I really think it's very possible against this pass defense, right? If it goes well, like if they win, I think they win this way. I don't think it's like, we got to figure this out, a typical Bears like low-scoring game. I think he actually goes crazy. And then Dave, yours is.
Yep, Bears get 2 sacks.
That's so sad. Not the bold take, but like that's like it is bold. It is bold, but it's like God damn.
It is bold, man. I think it's simple. I think the Bears get 2 sacks.
Who's got him? Do you got just this won't count, but like
no, I think Tyler, if he plays, which looks like our guy Jay or Nick from Just Another Year Chicago, he tweeted says Kyler said, I don't know if he said it on the IG, but he said, y'all about to see me out there.
Let's go.
He said that, but I think he gets one for sure, just because he's dynamic out there. But I think you get 2 sacks here. You feel really good about it. This unit needs to get some momentum. Montez Sweat, I would love to see him get one. Javon Jamar Turner. There's some guys out there. They just need to, I don't know how that. I feel already like this is going to be an L, but as far as like
I mean, look, they're bold, right? So you never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
And I try to switch it up sometimes.
No, I feel you on that. I think I kind of want my bold take to like really, really happen. So I think that's why we're back to back on that. But I think we'll both win on that one. Let's get though to the most important part: score predictions. What everybody's been waiting for. How do we have the Chicago Bears faring off against the Las Vegas Raiders? Well,
wait. Go to our records.
Whoops, you're right. I clicked the wrong one.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I totally clicked the wrong one. All right, here we go. So this is important. This one I do have a lead in 2-1. Dave is 1-2. Jack again doesn't know what a win is. Do we expect anything else? Probably not. I got last week right. So we were both 1-1 last week. You predicted them to lose. Not by much, but you predicted them to lose like in a shootout. I predicted them to win, not by much, and they ended up winning. So that's why I took the lead there. So now let's get to the prediction, which I already gave it away for myself, but I have the Bears winning, which I think most of you guys can understand. 27-17. I think Caleb goes for 3 touchdowns at least, right? And then I think we'll get like 1 or 2 field goals in there. That's just how we are. We're never going to have just a touchdown only game. And our defense isn't great enough to not have them score at least 2 touchdowns. Like I think every team's going to score at least 14 points on us. So I have them at 17. Now, Dave,
but keeping them under 17 would be.
Oh, I'll take it. That's good.
With a banged up defense, that's incredible. Similar to what they did against Dallas last week. I thought they had a really great performance, just forcing turnovers. So,
also to be fair, I guess I don't give enough credit. This is the modern NFL. Most teams are scoring 10 plus points, right? It's hard to hold a team under 10. So, okay, but let's get to yours.
Well, and Geno is leading the league in passing yards.
Yeah, crazy.
So, I have the Bears winning a nail biter 24-23. I said I would never pick the Bears to win until they won a game. And so last week, obviously, I was pleasantly surprised when they blew out Dallas. And so I am picking them to win once again. I don't feel great for some reason about this matchup. I just don't. I hope they prove me wrong, but 24-23, and you head in the bye 2-2. They need this one, man. They need this one.
I mean, a win's a win, right? So as long as we win it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you lose 1-3 into the bye week.
Oh, huge!
Horrible. You win 2-2 into the bye week. You got a 2-game win streak. You're likely pissed off. You should be 3-1. There is a completely different world depending on what happens here.
Oh, for sure.
That Chicago sports fans will live in.
And then obviously we shouldn't be thinking too far ahead. We should be like Ben Johnson and these guys thinking the game at a time. But you come back from the bye, you still have a banged up Washington Commanders. Terry's on IR, so he's out for that game for sure. And then Jane Daniels out again this week. Now, will he be ready to play against the Bears? Most likely, but you got a chance to kind of do some things, right? You come back healthy after a bye. We'll see how. I need to look into this, right? It's always important to see how coaches play after a bye. Like Andy Reid is like almost undefeated after a bye. And a lot of good coaches are really good in utilizing the bye. Obviously, Matt Eberflus was not. So I need to look into that and see like what's Ben Johnson's record after the bye. Because that might be interesting.
Real quick, Terry McLaurin is not on IR.
He isn't. I thought I saw that.
The expectation
yesterday.
is Commanders will not place Terry McLaurin on our team, treating this as a true week-to-week situation from Fowler on ESPN.
Okay.
I would love that to be true.
Report. Okay. All right. Spoke too soon, but definitely injured. Both him and Jaden. It'll be interesting to see. 2 weeks, though, if it's week to week and he's not on IR, he'll probably suit up, but we'll wait for that. So, okay. Thank you for correcting me on that one. Okay. Let's get to the headlines. Then we got our shout outs, all the normal stuff to end the show. Again, we appreciate y'all for joining the one show for the fans, by the fans, the Bears Film Room Podcast. You guys are amazing, but let's get to the headlines here. Nothing like, I couldn't think of anything clever. I was trying to do something about Pirates and whatnot, but I couldn't. But Bears are back because they went 2-2.
We need a boo. We need a boo one.
Yes,
a boo sound. This is terrible, Ficky.
Thumbs down. Look, I admitted it. Okay, at least I gave you that. At least I warned the fans. Like, hey, look, this is kind of dog shit. This is the best I got. Okay, so Bears are back. Just because it's a win, 2-2. But Dave, you'd be if you know how much time I spent trying to tie a Pirates of the Caribbean analogy to the Bears, I spent like 30 minutes and I still couldn't think of anything. I was like, fuck it. Okay, Bears are back. So that's it. Please don't grade the show based off our headlines. We say that every week. We do. But let's get to yours, though, Dave. Let's see what you got.
Oh, yeah, 500 feels so good. I think it's just funny. But it's maybe not the best either, but I think it's 500. You're telling me 500 into the bye. I think everyone's feeling great. You got 2 weeks of, or basically 2 weeks of stress-free football. You can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Relish in possibly being 3-1. I keep saying it, but yeah. So a lot riding on tomorrow. I think this is, I don't like to say it determines how the rest of the season is going to go, but it just feels like such an important opportunity for the Chicago Bears to string 2 wins together, and win on the road, because you just got the first one at home. This would be Ben Johnson's first win on the road. So such a good opportunity for this team, and the franchise. So
I agree. I do love this. I got to shout to Isaac here on YouTube. Instead of like bear down, it's bear down. So that's hilarious. If you guys want to use that for when our headlines suck, particularly mine, because they're not always the best. And then thank you, Gage, for the long-winded boo there. Yeah, it was. I told you it wasn't great. It was not great, but we appreciate you guys being here anyway. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Let's do our. Oh, here, this is a good one. Sorry, actually, I like the Bears sink the Black Pearl. That's not bad. We'll take that because we are in Vegas too. So much better than mine. Maybe I need to take some fan considerations before we do the pod. But shout out to y'all. You guys are great. And speaking of shout outs, that's what we're going to get to here. Let's go ahead and get to some of the OGs and whatnot. First of all, we got to give a shout out again to Kenny. Anyone that first subscribes, New Face Gang. Appreciate you, Kenny. Thank you so much for now becoming a fan of the number one show for the fans by the fans, Bears Film Room. Also, we got to give a shout out to Devin McGovern here. Hashtag OG Bear Down. We got Vizzo Joe. Hashtag OG. Appreciate that. Always love the sweetness, Avi. Mr. James in here said hashtag OG. So when are we trading DJ? We talked about this last episode. Dave and I don't think that's going to happen. It could, but we don't think it will. And then Gage again here. Hashtag OG here with coffee and Excedrin. I feel that. Trust me.
There's a possibility with trading DJ if the season just goes to the toilet.
Yeah.
So
if we're playing well, you wouldn't do that. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Plaster Rockets here. Hashtag OG. Trust the process, fellas, and bear down. You're absolutely right. Isaac as well here again. Hashtag bear down, even though I do appreciate the thumbs down. Okay, let me see if there was some more that we missed here. Nope, I think we're good on that. And then actually, we just want to roll through a couple of these questions from the fans as well. So Gage here said, was Ashton Genty overhyped? And we'll make this rapid fire, but was Ashton Genty overhyped, or did the Raiders O-line suck that bad? I think we talked about this. I think it's the Raiders O-line, because yards after contact, Ashton's still breaking tons of tackles. So I just think he's, it takes a unit for the run game to develop. But Dave, any thoughts on that?
Oh, Ashton's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that.
I agree. Gage again said, if OZ and Rome keep going off this season, is DJ Bear? Oh, so this is the trade talk we kind of talked about. We don't think that's the case unless we suck.
It really depends on how this season goes. Yeah,
right.
With him, I think his attitude's great. I think he's obviously a leader. You saw it last week. I think just when there's adversity, we got to see how everybody handles it, including him. So if the Bears are competitive all year, I think obviously they signed him to an extension. Why not bring him back? I think it's too early. I think maybe after next season, you start to have some real conversations about the direction, some of the young players. How's Luther Burden looking? Rome obviously is probably going to be Rome and better. So
no, I think that's fair. I think next season is definitely a bigger talking point for sure. Okay, Rod D said, who's going to start at right tackle? We kind of talked about this. We think it's going to be Theo Benedict for multiple reasons, and bless you, Dave. But who knows? Theo Benedict came in for Darnell Wright when Darnell Wright went out last week, so that's kind of why we're leaning that way. And then also Gage said here, which is interesting. I actually did not know about this. He said the commissioner said he wants 16 international games next season, so everyone plays one. Thoughts? I'm sure the players don't love it. It's great for the NFL globally. It's going to make a lot of people money. So grow the game. Look,
these guys are getting paid a lot of money too.
So. That's true. At the end of the day, if it helps the NFL become bigger and better, I'm here for it. It's not really what am I to complain about? It just means I get to watch an early game on Sunday.
We're not making the trip. We're not flying.
Yeah, exactly. They're not shipping me across seas, so
Yep.
we're going to be good. And then
Thanks,
also here,
Isaac.
Gage as well said, can't wait for the Zoom call coming up. Absolutely. And this is a perfect transition. We're going to give a shout out to our Patreon members. But for our Patreon members, we do have our Zoom call tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. The link is in the Patreon, so you can go on there. We posted about it. Also, if you are in our Discord, there is a channel there for y'all where the link is always there for the upcoming thing. So you should be able to see it there. I'll post again today to remind people as well in the Discord that we do have it tomorrow. We love to see all of y'all there. It's a great time. And if you want to join the Discord, you technically still got time and you can get access to that our private call tomorrow that we do once a month with y'all, which we absolutely love. All right. So speaking of love, let's get to our Hall of Fame Patreon members, which we have some new people in here. So first off, shout out to the OGs like Michael, Gage, who's in the chat, Phil, Michael Berry, Thomas Whitty, Tito, and Dave. But now we actually have two. And shout out to the ladies, because now we have Tina, who just joined. Shout out to you. And our favorite, Angie Wright, who sent in a voicemail last episode. Shout out to you, Angie, as well. Welcome to the Hall of Fame tier. We appreciate y'all. We're excited to hopefully see all of y'all on the call tomorrow. That'll be our biggest one to date if everybody makes it. That'd be fucking awesome. So really excited about that. Thank you guys for joining. You don't have to fiscally, support us in that way, but you guys do, and we really do appreciate it. And we really, really try to make sure that we provide tons of value and make sure we lift y'all up, because y'all are the fans, and that's what the show's about. As I always say ad nauseum, but you're never going to hear me shut up. Number one show for the fans, by the fans, and we appreciate y'all. But also, we got to give a shout out to our rookie Grizzly as well. We got Alex, Caleb, Chris, Jason, and Ethan. Don't think we forgot about y'all. We really do appreciate y'all as well. Caleb, if you're watching the show, even if it's not live, you did win the giveaway last week. I hit you up on Patreon. I need your address and whatnot so you can win so you can get your free merch. It's also a little plug too. If you want to win free merch, join the Patreon. We do it every month. So shout out to you. And then also something special that we're also doing as well. If you join our Discord, which is free, you can join it right now. Link is in the description. We're doing a weekly prediction contest. Every week, you go in there, throw in what you think the score will be of the game. There's kind of like a point system, right? How close you are to the score, whether you pick the winner, and then how many points you are away from the actual numbers. Every week, you're winning a $5 gift card to our BFR store. So you just win free money. And so not only that, you're going to get a shout out on all of our pregame shows. So we've got a new one here for you. You got to give a shout out to our Discord winner of the week, Jay Ramsey, which I think is like Jalen Ramsey, 23. So shout out to you, Jay Ramsey. I've already sent you the e-gift card. You said you got it. You're ready to rock and roll. Enjoy the free gift. We're doing this literally every week. You can go into our Discord right now as long as you get the predictions in before the start of the game. So you have all the way till 4 p.m. tomorrow or 3 p.m., depending what time zone. Get it in there. I calculate all the winners on Monday, and then boom, you get free money that you can use to buy some fire merch from the BFRstore.com. So again, thank y'all for the support, whether it's in the Discord, whether it's in Patreon, whether you're just a viewer, subscriber, anything, everywhere in between. You guys are fantastic. We're really trying to build this show for y'all because, again, for the last time, it's the number one show for the fans, by the fans, Bears Film Room Podcast, and we appreciate y'all being here. All right. Dave, any final thoughts? Oh,
we will.
Here for you.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, no, I will. Appreciate it, though. I don't have anything. I'm excited for tomorrow. We'll see you guys right after the game, like always, and appreciate the support. So enjoy your Saturday, and hopefully the Bears win tomorrow. So we'll see you soon.
Peace.